every train that runs, it has a signature of various senior section engineers. For example, if I'm on duty, I'll sign the engine fitness certificate. That is, the engine is fit to run. And if anything happens to the engine, you are sole responsible for it.
Hello viewers, welcome back to another episode of Engineering Aajkal. Today we have with us Avinash. Avinash is currently working with Indian Railways. He has done his undergraduation from NIT Patna and his post-graduation from IIT BHU. Come, let's find some insight about his journey through this conversation. So tell us about your engineering journey. Why did you choose engineering? That too specifically in electrical domain, and tell us about NIT Patna. How was NIT Patna for you?
I would like to tell you that I have done everything which my school gave me. I have done dancing, I have done elocution, I have done. But the thing that fascinated me was science every time.
Okay.
So, more particularly, I was very much intrigued by the electrical engineering, which is the basics which you read in class 12. For example, the electrostats, I would like to tell you that my marks in class 12 were below average in physics because I focused too much on electricity, that's all. Then what happened was I cleared JEE twice. But then since I wasn't getting electrical, I was like, I would do it. Then it was NIT Patna, which I got in 2011. I passed my test in 2010. I passed my 12th in 2010, and then I joined NIT in 2011. It was a very up and down journey because when I entered in 2011 in NIT Patna, it was a very mediocre institute. To be very frank with you, it was a very mediocre institute with only a few government firms coming. And if you must be aware, in 2012, Supreme Court and High Courts ruled out that PSUs won't be going to government institutes for direct recruitment. They would go to GATE or something. And then what happened was the placements seriously dropped. And considering the fact that it was Patna, I have seen the whole development in my holistic development of Patna as a city and more particularly an institute in 4 years.
If you were more interested in material sciences,
Yeah.
sort of thing, then why did you choose electrical engineering? Like, I think going for a material science bachelor is much easier than going for electrical engineering. So what was your plan or what was the thought behind going for electrical engineering rather than going for material sciences?
Electrical engineering was what drove me. Material science was where I was interested. And then when in our, I believe it was the sixth semester in my undergrad, when I got to realize that we can incorporate material science into electrical engineering. So basically, then what happened was I did a thorough research that how can I combine these two fields. In my seventh semester, I believe I dedicated about a month into it.
Okay.
That what happens when we apply the principles which we know of the electrical engineering to the application process of the material science, because material science is a very booming industry, right? Then I got to know that there are institutes from IIT Bangalore, IIT Hyderabad, and IIT BHU. They provide a very good master's course in material science, and they require none of the subject is from the background. For example, if you think of material science, you think of mechanical engineering. You won't think of electrical engineering. But then there are parts of material science which incorporate electrical engineering into it.
So, how was your IIT BHU experience? And after completing post graduation from IIT BHU, you directly got an opportunity with Indian Railways. So, how did you get into Indian Railways? Like, you have to give GATE again, or was there any placement going on in IIT BHU?
It was I would call it a life defining moment, because what happened was I had no research experience prior. No research experience. Even in my internships and vocational trainings, it was just a formality that I had done. that has been done, and nothing like research. It was all about books, markup, practicals. Yes, practicals happened, but there was nothing like research. You don't get to do anything. Then what happened was uh, we had people, like I told you, from diverse backgrounds. Diverse background meaning there were 13 students, and no two students were of same background. There was one from mechanical engineering, one from plastic engineering, one from engineering physics, and so on. So what happened was the first year was an entirely dedicated to classroom program, so that we get familiarized with ourselves with uh, the basics of material science and the uses of material science, incorporating our diverse backgrounds for a common good. The second year was wholly dedicated to research. What I did in research was it was a photo detector. If people from electrical engineering background would know what a photo detector is, and it was a quantum dot based photo detector. You might be familiar with the TVs that are now coming up, but they are very costly TVs of quantum dot LEDs. So it was a very different thing. You actually get to know that how research, how does that thing comes to you. You start from a chip this size, and then you get onto a whole new screen of 60-inch TV or a 80-inch TV or a big display out there. And coming to the second question, how did railways happen? It's a very funny story actually. So what happened was, I was in my second semester of MTech. There was a practical exam going on. There was a practical class going on actually, and I did not bring my practical prize also. So there were people around who were giving those examinations of various things, and there was a friend of mine who had filled my form for this. I was not interested in going there because I was much interested in going for PhD. Then what happened was didn't bring my practical part. So he asked me, he told me, asked for their exam. I was like, "Acha, aisa hai kya?" Then I gave this exam. This was a totally different paper. So I just went there. I gave it. It was a 4 to 6, but the thing was I hadn't been preparing for it. It was a very like class 12th level with the basics of engineering. Since I had brushed up my whole of engineering in a very fresh stage for preparation of gate, I had did everything by myself, so it was very fresh in my mind. And plus the basics were very strong due to thanks to my schooling. Basics were very strong. So I just gave that exam without any prior, like without any extra effort being given. I was not even willing to give this exam. Then what happened was I gave it in, I believe it was in January 2016. Then what happened was I gave that exam, and that's how government policies were. The exam happened, the results got delayed, very delayed. Then the results happened, I got selected. Then what happened was you have your document verification thing and the police verification thing. That's pertaining to every government jobs. So that happened. So by the time I got my job offer, it means I got the thing to join, I got the letter to join. It was already June 2017. So it took almost 1.5 years, and thankfully, in June 2017, my MTech also got to an end, and I got a job.
What type of examination railway conduct, and how one can get into railways?
The railways is governed by a railway board which sits in Delhi. There are 16 zones under it. Mumbai has 2 zones, Kolkata has 3 zones, Delhi has a zone. So, and every zone is further divided into 5 or 6, 4, 5, 6, 3 divisions. Each division is headed by a DRM. So, entry level job in railways. Entry level job in railways can be at various levels, starting from Group D. Group D is like which we call in our language as khalasi. The post is called khalasi. It's just a helper kind of a thing who has no sort of nothing technical is expected of him. He's just expected to be a 10th pass and physically fit. That's all. So that's level 1. Then there's level 2. Then there's level 3. For my post, it's level 7. Uh, I would say, fortunately or unfortunately, Railways has stopped recruiting direct for level 7 from 2019 onwards. It will now only be recruiting junior engineers in level 6, which may be promoted to senior section engineers. 3 or 4 years later, depending upon their seniority and how they perform. And then you have your ESC. There was ESC, there was IAS, two examinations which railway used to take for their Indian Railway A group services, which has also been discontinued, if you are aware. Civil services and engineering services do not incorporate for railway jobs. Railway has set up a new Indian Railway Management examination, which hasn't had its first examination. No one knows. I know exactly the same as you know if you are a railway. So, what do we know as that it would be conducted by UPSC on civil services terms, but details are not out. No one knows the details. And considering the COVID terms, I believe it has been postponed. But by the end of this year, we can expect our first notification to be out for Group A services and for junior engineers. There is a separate exam conducted by Railway Recruitment Board (RRB), which has the examinations of almost everything, that GS, your general engineering skills, and in GK, and pertaining to the railway board you have applied. For example, if you have applied to Mumbai, you should know a basic of Mumbai. If you have applied to Lucknow, you should know a basic of Lucknow. That's all. So that's how you get into railway.
So you work as a senior section officer. So what do a senior section officer do there?
A senior section engineer is a very dynamic post.
Okay.
You have to do supervisory level first. I believe I told you that we belong to level 7. So from level 1 to level 6, everyone's under you. So first is management. Your management skills must be very good. So for this, they impart training. We have been imparted training for about 1 year. And that is a holistic training. We have covered every aspect of training. So we know you should know how to manage people, point 1. Point 2, you must be technically very sound. Because it is you. It is, for example, I will tell you, every train that runs, it has a signature of various senior section engineers. For example, if I'm on duty, I'll sign the engine fitness certificate. That is, the engine is fit to run. And if anything happens to the engine, you are sole responsible for it. So that means you should know what's going on inside it. You should personally know what everything is out there and how it's working.
Do you want to suggest any skill that a aspirant should pick at this point of time, or he or she can learn at this point of time?
Point 1, knowledge never goes waste. Try and acquire knowledge from anywhere and everywhere. Point 2, just start reading anything. Build a new habit. You can read a novel. You can read a newspaper, for example. You can read good newspapers, not like 10. And then you can read some good newspapers. And apart from it, one skill, any skill which you want to develop it. These are very testing times. You need to keep busy because there are people like me who are working. There is a majority who are working, but there are people like the final year students, or a third year or a second year student, or someone who has been preparing for a job whose notification has been flashed out due to COVID. What do? They can't keep on studying every day. Studying is just a part of your life. Everything is just a part of your life. You need to. There should be an all-round development. Because if you are studying, it's like you are just working on one aspect of it. And there are many aspects to you. Just find them.